Okay, with Ash K Tysowski, after the spread is the short film. It's a music video. It's an animation music video. Who is the band that you work for?
The band is called The Idea of Machines. And it's really just kind of one guy, actually. It's a bit of a Tame Impala situation.
Okay.
They're really underground. It's kind of a hobby for him, but he wanted to make a music video for his album, so he reached out to me. Super cool stuff. Really unique music.
And you just and what did you guys know each other before he reached out to you, or
Not particularly. He's actually kind of a friend of my mom's, which is kind of how got in. I went to animation school and she was bragging about what I was working on, and he was like, "Oh, that sounds really interesting." And she showed him some of my work, and he reached out to me to hire me to do the music video for him. So, bit of luck, honestly.
did you make a couple short films like in animation school?
Yeah, I made one. It was kind of how the course was structured, is it finished off with like this big studio style animation project, with like the pipeline and everything. I made like a minute 45 long horror short film called Paranoid.
You made a feature
And
film.
then well, it was a short film. It was only minute 45.
Oh,
But
I thought you
yeah,
meant an hour 45. Sorry, I gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
no, I couldn't do that in 6 months.
So then they reached out to you, you weren't doing anything, and it was seemed like a pretty cool project, and you got inspired. I'm assuming you got inspired by the music.
Yes, but also he approached me with an idea of what he wanted the music video to be about. Like
Yeah,
he's honestly the writer for the film more so
gotcha.
than I am. He came
Yeah.
to me with the story, which I translated into visuals, right, to time with the music.
So you just basically he gave you kind of a loose script, or
Nothing in writing. We would just kind of have meetings. He would talk about it. He'd give me his ideas. He said, I want it to be about this group of teenagers who like go to this party and maybe it's not so fun and they end up at the beach and it's kind of like about friendship and hope and stuff like that. And so then I took a listen to the song, and from there, I'd listen to it and I'd kind of like visualize in my head kind of these ideas that he had given me and like how it would time out to the music and what the shots would look like. But all of the story beats were mostly his idea.
gotcha. And so basically it's about like you, but it's about people around your age, I guess, right? Kind of I know you're past teenagers, but it's like you kind of understand this kind of world that he was trying to create.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. A lot of the stuff that happens in that film is based off of experience I did actually have growing up. Uh, I grew up in Calgary, Alberta, and there's a bit of a party scene there in high school. It's kind of wild.
Hey, it happens, right? It happens in most kind of, I guess, urban environments and when you're in high school. So, and you guys, but like I guess it's about friendship too. It's about like kind of these people, connecting as much as they can, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit about I found family in a way, like finding where you belong with other people,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
which is big for me. Something I've experienced in my life.
are you still friends with your high school mates in Calgary?
Not particularly, actually, but most of my odd adventures were with my cousins, and I am still friends with them. We're all very close.
Okay, so but now you're like in the Vancouver area.
Yeah, I moved here for this. It's where I went to animation school, and I stuck around afterwards.
So what are your plans now? What do you want to do?
Well, the goal is to be an animator. Vancouver is the hub for animation in Canada. It's where all the studios have their outlets and stuff like that. I would love to work in an animation studio. That's kind of what I'm shooting for right now.
But you're just are you working on a project right now, or?
I am. I actually, Idea of Machines approached me for another music video. I was actually working on it before this interview started. Yeah, he wants to do another music video, and stuff like this is really good for me, my career goals, because it pads out my portfolio. It shows. like more professional companies and stuff like that, that I know what I'm doing, that I have the skill set. So stuff like this is really important for me, just to get the work
Of
experience
course,
and
yeah.
like to do what I love to do.
And you kind of do it from development to final product too, right? Like you do the whole thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like right now I'm doing thumbnails for the next one, which is like it's before you even storyboard it. It's like the first draft of the video ever to be put down in drawings. It's like tiny little things, size of a thumbnail. That's why
So
they
let's
call
talk
it.
about your blog interview for a second, because you kind of mentioned you're doing, I guess, thumbnails for this project, and you kind of ran into some issues.
Like on the last project,
Yeah, you were saying that like you're like you wish that they were the storyboards or the thumbnails were more profound to help you with your animation.
that wasn't actually the issue. The issue was more that I animated it poorly to
Okay.
start. Um, it was basically like stick figures on my first draft, and then it was all like finished and fully animated, and then I realized like I have to make these characters look on model. I have to make these characters look the way I designed them to look, and it was foolish. It was a foolish choice. Because what I do now is I'll do the first pass kind of rough like that, like gestures, poses, stuff like that, and then I'll tie it down to the character design, and then I'll rough animate it, which is not what I did last time. I had to thousands and thousands of drawings needed to be made improved upon, and it was wild. But it was a learning experience.
Yeah, I
I
was gonna
wanted
say that's your kind of almost like your professional film school in a sense, meaning that like you this is you had to go through this to learn this, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did it differently intentionally. I kept it rough because I wanted to focus more on like the fluidity of the motion because I felt like my last film was kind of stiff. But I went a little bit too far with it, and I found kind of like a habit with my process now where I'm more fluid with the drawings, but I'm not so loose that it's a pain in the ass and it comes back to get me later down the line.
so how many so what's the process then? You do, like you said, thumbnails, then you do storyboards, then what's after that?
There's a after that there's a short kind of process called layout where it's like you take the storyboards and you turn it into like the line art for your backgrounds, and then this is kind of up to personal preference. You kind of can go into animation or backgrounds. A lot of people will do them at the same time. I painted all my backgrounds, digital painting, and then I went in to start animating after I had all my backgrounds finished. And then animation takes forever. Like you have to rough it, you have to tie it down, you have to clean it up, and then you have to color it, and then you have to composite it, which is like adding like lighting effects and stuff like that, making it look, you like fancy, like special effects, things like that. And then you have to edit it all together, uh, which is usually pretty quick.
So this
No,
is,
it's a long.
but especially when you're doing it by yourself, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like if you go to an animation studio, nobody's doing all of these things.
Yeah.
There's a different team for everything. You got a storyboard team, you got a writing team, you got an animation team, you got a compositing team. Nobody does it from start to finish. But when you're doing like when you're doing a short film, like even that's still, I've got friends who are organizing short films that I'm kind of a part of, and like not everybody's doing everything.
Yeah.
You know, we got animators and storyboarders. It's really when you're doing it yourself and you're doing everything that it's like you really just realize how much work it is, and it's good. It's an enjoyable process. It's gratifying to do something yourself from start to finish like that.
Yeah, it must be great because well, it's diligence too, right? Because it took you like, I guess it took you like a year to do it.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is partly just because it was kind of my first foray into doing it on my own with no structure, just like I was setting all the deadlines. And partly because, I'm still pretty junior at all of this stuff. Like I just graduated from animation school in like 2023. So like the second time around, I'm planning on getting it done faster. Probably the timeline will still be a year, but I'm not working on it full time this time around. I worked on it full time for a year for After the Spread. and this new one called New Wave. I'm working part-time only on it because I have another job because I got bills to pay.
Yeah. That's kind of amazing. You worked on it for a whole year.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm hearing is that you learned a lot from this experience to make it easier and more time consuming next time you do it, I guess, right?
Yeah, for sure. I learned a lot, and also it's just a matter of practicing. Like the more you do something, the better you get at it, right? Like I play instruments as well. It's like you learn a song on the guitar, and it's like you got to play it slow at first, but the more you do it, the faster you can play the song.
Gotcha.
Um,
What's your favorite part about
yeah.
what's your favorite part of the process?
I got a couple different favorite parts. I mean, animating it is why I do it, is because I like making my drawings move. I like figuring out how things would move in a context. Like that's why I do all of what I do is because I love animating, but I also really like the compositing part. Like when you're putting the final polishes on everything and like you see it all come together the way you envisioned it in your head and it like looks finished and final. It's like it's really super gratifying when you just get to see it all come together.
Yeah. Well, man, it's like such a cool experience that you did this. And it's a solid film. It's a solid like animation film. What kind of motivated you guys to send out to festivals?
It was actually a comment on one of from a friend of Jared's. Because when we finished, or Jared is Idea of Machines.
Yeah.
Um, he sent it out to everybody, after we finished it when he dropped his album. And, we got a lot of praise on it. People really liked it. And he had this one friend who works in film in some capacity, and she said, "This is really good. You should send it out to festivals. Like you could get some stuff. You could win some awards, get some more eyes on it." And so then he sent me, a list of festivals that she had provided him. And it was just kind of that's just kind of where we went with it. And also, I had like some know-how about how to do stuff like this before because they really push you to put your films in festivals when you animate or when you graduate animation school. They push you to put your final films in festivals and stuff like that, which I never ended up doing for mine. But I was like still aware of the process and all of that. So partly because I never did it for Paranoid and partly because of the outside push, we thought, what the hell, let's put this out there, see what people think, see what happens.
And how's it doing?
It's doing pretty good. I mean, we've got the Experimental Dance and Music Award, um, which was awesome. And then it got a special mention in the London Music Festival, but a lot of the other festivals I've applied to yet I haven't heard back from them yet. Like the deadlines weren't as soon. Like a lot of them I applied like early bird deadlines. So we're just gonna have to wait and see on a lot more of the things. But the fact that I won something is like I think that's awesome. Like I'm super excited about that.
So what did you do the movie poster as well?
Yes, all of I yeah, I made everything. It's all me.
Yeah. So this is like what how do you this is like how do you describe it? Like 2D animation, like hand-drawn animation?
Yeah, yeah. That's how it would be described. Some people call it classical animation. That's very fancy sounding. But yeah,
Is this what you're learning and this is what you learned in school, or were you learning 3D animation, other types of animation in school?
no, I went to school specifically for 2D animation. I have not really dipped my toes into the 3D pool. I would like to maybe in the future, but what I like is 2D animation. It's just what I love to do. I love to draw. It's what I like to watch. I don't know. I just find it so fascinating. It's hard to explain. I've got this like fixation with it.
But do you see from you because you mentioned you want to work in an animation studio, like from a mainstream perspective, do you see like a renaissance from these type of animations?
That's a kind of like yes and no. There is a lot of really cool 2D stuff being made, but it's not in necessarily major studios. Like there's a lot of indie projects. like on YouTube and stuff like that online that are really cool, hand drawn 2D animation. But I'd be shooting to work in like probably TV, which uses rigged animation. It's still 2D, but it's like they have these like cutout puppets that you kind of move around the way you would move a 3D rig around, but it's all still drawings. Like it's still a 2D animated show. So that is something I also learned how to do in school, and I would be able to do it for work.
Like basically like Family Guy that wear the same outfits every episode, like there because it's easier.
Yeah. It's like character model is made for you,
Yeah.
and you just move it around in a 2D space instead of a 3D one. Yeah.
So it's
Like
easier.
like Family Guy as an
But
started out hand drawn and they use rigs. Yeah.
and now it's rigged or
Yeah. Like they what they do is they draw, it's like they make a character turnaround of a character like Peter Griffin, right? They
yeah.
have him they've drawn from every angle that they need him, and there's like buttons on it that you can use to like switch between the drawings. You can like turn him around, but it's still all just like someone had to draw every single piece of that rig,
But they're
but
using it in
you can,
repeated episodes. Like they have
yeah,
every angle of all the characters drawn and they can just go back and use those characters again, right?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
which makes a lot of sense from a practical standpoint, right? So
Oh yeah, it makes the process significantly faster, right? Like it cuts so many hours out of the work time for something like that. So it makes sense that they gravitate towards it.
and which makes them be able to do 22 episodes a year, right? So
Yeah,
they just have to write it, right? So
pretty much, yeah.
yeah. I was talking to a guy who worked for Family Guy. He's an animator like yourself, and he said there's 23 writers and 22 episodes a year, so a lot of competition.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy.
Yeah,
Must
what's that?
be cutthroat, right? Like wanting to get your jokes put in. Like that's mad.
Well, that's a lot of comedy places, right? Like that's sort of like if people can thrive in that kind of environment, right? So it depends who you are, right? So
Yeah. No, for sure. It's
so
kind of like
okay,
that in any field.
what's
Sorry.
that?
I bet it's like that in any field, though. It's like you want to have the best stuff so that you get like even like as an animator, like you want to have the best shots that you'll get more shots, you know? Like it's always kind of competitive like that with creative. You always want your work to be the best it can be. You want other people to like it.
Yeah. But it's amazing that you're able to do this. It's like nicely cool animation. I'm assuming the the band or the guy was happy with the experience, like the kind of template that you created for him.
Oh yeah. I mean, he must have liked it. He hired me to do another one for him.
Yeah,
No, he was really, really happy with it. I mean, because he's not like much of an artist himself, so he was really blown away by all the stuff I was doing. He thought it was so fascinating. He would like ask me questions about the process and stuff like that. And I try my best to explain it, but it's complicated. I've talked about it a lot already.
did you add some like hidden kind of messages in the animation
I
or
did actually.
yeah,
There's nothing like super crazy overt, but like I added some bands that I liked in the backgrounds of certain shots, and there's a nod to my dad's hockey team in the backgrounds in some of the party scenes. They won like a championship the year that I was making it, so I put his team logo on a flag in the background.
like a beer league kind of thing or like
Yeah.
yeah,
They're called Snake Plissken. And it's crazy. My dad's like 53 years old, still out there playing hockey. Like he's a legend.
yeah. It's like I'm Canadian, so I totally get it. So do you
Yeah.
play at all or no?
No, I never really got the chance to play hockey growing up. I like playing sports a lot, but hockey wasn't in the cards for me as a kid. Um, I'm a basketball guy. I really like playing basketball a lot.
Do people like just in Calgary, they're just automatically Raptors fans then because that's the only Canadian team?
It depends. It depends. I'm definitely a Raptors fan, but not necessarily everybody is like a lot of people will just like teams that they like. Like there will be Lakers fans, there will be Bucks fans, like because they're arguably better teams. The Raptors are a hard
Now,
team to
yeah,
like.
yeah. We did win a
Because,
championship recently, so yeah.
yeah, that was major. I remember that. I remember watching the finals and that crazy shot that went off at like the buzzer beater from Kawhi and it like bounced on the rim. That was
Well,
insane.
let me see if I can show you the photo. There you go. You see it? The
There
buzzer
it
beater. Why
is.
you see a little corner of it?
Oh, that's awesome. I see it. That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So before we forget, we asked you the question, what movie you watched the most times in your life? Do you remember what you said?
Yeah, it was a toss up between The Lion King or How to Train Your Dragon animated movies because I would watch them over again.
But Try to Train Your Dragon's 3D, but Lion King is 2D, I guess, right? No, it's
Yes,
three. Was it 3D or?
the original Lion King is a 2D animated film.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm just remembering that time when they kind of shifted the Toy Story story, right? So yeah, but I guess it was 2D during
Yeah.
that time, right? But you weren't even born when that movie came out, right?
No, no, I wasn't. It came out before I was born, but we had it on DVD, and I just like was I would just watch it over and over. We had this bootleg DVD that my parents picked up at some market in Vietnam because my cousins used to live there. And I would just watch it like on repeat. It's such a good film. I don't know. I might just be because I really like cats. Like I grew up with cats, like in my house my entire life. I don't know. It's just a fantastic movie, and the animation is great. I could go on about it. It's very inspiring.
Yeah. And then How to Train Your Dragon. There, it's I guess the live action's coming out this year as per this podcast.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually kind of that. There's a lot of mixed opinions on that. I'm actually quite looking forward to it. The live action version because the film was really it was also just like really integral to me growing up. I don't know, it was something about the story, the freedom. I just really gravitated towards it. But yeah, really looking forward to the live action film. At first I wasn't because they always butcher these things when they remake them in live action. Like all these live
Sometimes, yeah,
Disney princess movies are like they're all right, I guess. Like Snow White just bombed in the box office, right? Um,
because it was terrible.
yeah. Right? So that's the concern that they're
I
gonna
saw it. It wasn't very good. So yeah,
oh, I didn't even bother.
yeah. And then Little Mermaid was like almost 3 hours long, right? So
Wow. That's insane.
they're hit and miss, I guess, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I really like what they're doing with the character models, which people are very divided on. Some people are like, it's not close enough to the original animated films, but I actually was hoping that they would kind of take a more realistic direction with some of the dragons because I was really curious what that would look like. I'm big on, you wouldn't know it from after the spread. Um, but in my personal work, I'm really big on like creatures and monsters and weird stuff like that. So I was super, super curious to see what they were going to do with the character designs in the live
yeah.
action film.
Well, it's a nice little message in today's world. It's like, can't we all just get along? It's like you're kind of preconditioned to like one side over another side because you happen to be born somewhere, right? So it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's an interesting
Yeah,
theme.
no, it
It's
is
it's
really
an
nice.
important theme that was made then, now even now, right? So
Yeah. No, it actually does resonate with me. The whole condition to like one side more than another thing. I'm transgender and like that's a real hot button topic right now. So it's definitely still a valid message,
yeah, but that's the
you
thing. Why
know.
is it though? It's like I thought we've solved this problem. This like to solve this thing. It's like they're trying to go backwards because people are uncomfortable, right? So
Yeah, it's tough. It's not something I like to talk about a lot because it's like it's scary seeing people backpedal on something that affects your life, you know? Uh
yeah.
mm. We'll
Well,
see what.
I'm sorry to hear it. So I totally
Yeah,
understand. No, I don't like totally, but I get it where you're coming from. So I guess the mission now is you're going to work on this film. You're going to try to get into some studios, and 2D animations or classic animations the way to go, right?
yeah. And for me, yeah, that's what I'm on. Really excited. This next project will probably take me to like, I don't know, maybe May of next year. And then after that, it's, work on my portfolio, see what I can get studio job wise. I had a meeting with the director at Wild Brand, big studio in Vancouver recently, and he said that, I've probably got a shot, which is big.
That's awesome. Nice animation, my friend. Like it's really solid work. I see a lot of animation films, and you served the story, you served the music video, and I think that was your job, and you kind of made it your own as well, right?
Yeah, thank you. I really did put my yeah. I love what I do, right? I'm not trying to make half-assed work. I'm gonna put everything I've got into something that's put in front of me. Like I'm in love with my art. I'm in love with my work.
Is like one last thing I got to ask you is the moon is shaped like a C. Is there a symbolism to that?
Not particularly. I just like the way a crescent moon looks. I think it's one of the most iconic ways to draw it, right?
Okay, no, but it's more it's profound, right? It's got a profoundness to it. It's like a C. I know it's a moon, but it
Yeah,
looks like a C.
that honestly wasn't intentional.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, I just like drawing funky shapes, and that's just kind of what it looked like to me.
All right. Well, let's talk again when you make your next film, and I'd love to see what you do next because I think it's this is awesome. So I wish you guys the ultimate best success. It should get into a lot of festivals when you submit to, so it should do well
Yeah,
for
I
you.
mean, yeah, thank you. I'm sure all of this interview stuff that you guys have been helping me with helps a lot with that too. So thank you for the opportunity, right?
All right, let's talk again soon.
Will do.